Hi, and welcome to Lesson 10 on how to produce a Deep House record with me, Rob Webster. We're at the stage now where we want to start doing the mix down and getting all the levels and the EQs right as best as we can, so we can take it over to mastering for a final finished product. Now, the first thing that we need to do is we need to render a couple of things in order to get the best volume and the best sound out of them. So what we're going to do is we're going to render the FM bass, which is this one. And that's going to be basically what we do is, when I say render, what we're going to do is we're going to freeze the entire track and convert it from MIDI to audio. It usually takes a minute or so, generally depends on how fast your computer is. So what we're going to do is we're going to right click on the track and freeze track, like so. Okay, and once that's frozen, you then add in another audio track. So insert audio track underneath the one you've just done. Okay, and then you need to grab all of your bass and control and hold your left mouse button and pull down. And then unfreeze the track that you've already done, like so, which is now unfrozen, and then solo the new one you've done, which will be the bass line. And what we can do with that is we can slightly EQ it a bit more and put another compressor on there, and then it will really bring out the bass as clearer than the MIDI one would. Okay, so we're going to mute the MIDI one that we've done and just ignore that for the time being. Then what we're going to do, so if we rename that FM audio bass, whatever you want to call that, okay, and then the next one we want to do is the chord pads. Okay, and the same again with those. So highlight all of them, right click, freeze track, and then what you do once that's done, insert audio track again, grab it all, pull it down, and then mute the one you've done. And once we're happy with what we've got, we can then delete the MIDI ones. Okay, let's have a look at that. Okay, and then so those two will be done, and I'm going to remove mine now. Whether you want to hang on to yours until you're really happy, that's a whole different thing, but I'm going to delete my FM bass audio MIDI. I'm going to delete my FM bass MIDI, and I'm going to delete my chord sample pad MIDI as well. Okay, and the same will go for the organ bass. We'll do the same with the organ bass. So we'll right click, freeze, and then create audio track, bring it down, and there we go. There's the organ bass. Let's just check that. There we go. And then rename that organ audio, whatever you want to call that. And I'm going to delete my organ. And what else do we need to do? Right, and the deep house things we did with the drum rack, we can do them as well. So let's freeze them. And the same again, create audio, and then bring it all down. And what this allows us to do is basically get more out of the sound, because it's a WAV file now rather than MIDI. So the process is much quicker when the sound comes out. It sounds a lot clearer and a lot better. So I'm going to get rid of my Deep House perk, and I'm just going to name that perk. Okay, right, and that should be like this. And that's that, and that's now a wave. And also, one of the benefits of doing this is if you want to take some of your tracks over into the session view, when you're dropping in loops and stuff, you can do that. And if you want to remix your track live and stuff, if you're playing it in a DJ set, this allows you to do that quicker. Okay, we'll do the same with the high string. So let's grab all that, freeze it, repeat the process, insert audio, grab it all, throw it down, and then get rid of the high string. And the same for the vocal. Now the vocal thing is a little bit more tricky, because I think that the vocal should stay as MIDI, just in case we need to edit some of the sounds, some of the voices, because there might be little clips on there that require, you know, they might require shortening or something. So for example, if I wanted to edit that sound, I might have to go into here and just move these about slightly, but we'll come back to that later. And then the sub bass, we'll leave that as well for now. Okay, So we've got all of those tracks rendered, and what we need to do now is get rid of all this beginning bit. Let's get rid of all the demo that we put together in the original, at the start of the recording that we did. And get rid of all that, and I'm going to save it. House mix down. Okay, so I've still got my original. I've still got a backup of my original work should you need it. Okay, right. So that's all in place, and what we need to do now is head over to the next lesson where we're going to begin mixing the beats and getting those tight, and then with the bass line. So hopefully you should have rendered all your tracks, and everything should more or less be audio now, except the sub and the vocals, because just in case we need to add some more to that or take away from that. Okay, head over to the next lesson and we'll begin the process of mixdown. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.